This morning I saw a kolkhoz of ducks. The duck is collectivistic by nature. There are no kulaks among ducks. It was a cold morning, but out of sympathy for the cameraman and to promote friendship between peoples, they gladly gave an exhibition of naval maneuvers on the freezing water at the risk of being trapped in the ice, which was the sad fate of a bigger, more famous, and much rarer animal in this same part of the world, the mammoth.
The mammoth elephants of old Siberia dreamt of a holiday in Iberia, fleeing the yuccas and the knout. Quite a few got lost en route. 30 centuries later, we had to dig them out.
Oddly enough, the only animal which the Siberians and the Chinese could conceive to be related to the mammoth was the mole. They were convinced that he was one of the giant variety, digging huge tunnels and humping the earth with his forehead. That imposing animal's weak spot was his extreme sensibility to sunshine. If he was struck by a single ray of light, he died instantly. And the proof of this, said the Chinese, who were strong on logic, was that whenever you met a mammoth in the open, it was dead. Hence the Chinese word for mammoth, chu mu, which means mother of mice. For Westerners, the mammoth raised other problems. They knew what he looked like. He'd had his portrait painted by some of the most popular artists of prehistoric times. His publicity agent was Father Braille. And anyway, mammoths had always been on good terms with the church. A mammoth's tooth attributed to St. Christophorus was worshipped in Valencia. And as late as 1789, a mammoth's thigh bone, presumed to have come from St. Vincent's own skeleton, was still carried in the Saints' Day procession. When the first mammoths were discovered in the 18th century, the effect on public opinion was unspectacular. It wasn't until 1900 that the mammoth became wildly fashionable, after hardy pioneers had made forays into the Siberian wasteland and brought back quick frozen mammoths in the flesh.
Men of science in that rugged clime had to be sturdy and still in their prime. They had to speak Yakut loud and clear. They had to banish all doubt and fear in order to bring back a mammoth by the ear.
Mammoths generally appeared after a landslide. By the time an expedition got there, it might have sunk back into the ground again. Or been eaten by wild animals. Several skeletons were found, however, and even some well-preserved meat. Between 1707 and 1908, 18 mammoths and 6 frozen rhinoceroses were found. It was in the faint hope of bringing back at least an incisor that we made the trek to the nearest diggings on the banks of the great Siberian River, the Lena.